And I said, as long as I do better than one other person in the class,
Oh my gosh,
I'm good. If somebody got a D and I got a C, I was like,
I'm good.
I'm not the worst in the class. I think good mentors are willing to tell you things you don't want to hear, but you need to hear.
Okay.
So we have students from either Yale or other schools that come up there for summer research programs.
Okay.
And just seeing like their excitement to be there, or hearing students say, oh, I didn't see a lot of Black professors who wanted to work with you.
Welcome to The Cost of Impact. I have today with me none other than the Dr. Nii Addy. Welcome to this wonderful space. I hope you've been treated well so far.
Yes, definitely treated well. And it is a wonderful space. It's nice to see it in person because I've seen reels and things online, but to experience it in person is definitely a joy.
Thanks for coming.
Of course.
I'm happy you're able to be here and I look forward to our conversation.
Me as well.
So let's start at the beginning. Where were you born?
Durham, North Carolina.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And your parents were from where?
Accra, Ghana, West Africa.
See, we have a connection.
We do.
Off of that, right? Because when we first talked, well, first when I saw your name, right? So shout out to Tamati who introduced us. And I saw your name, I'm like, oh, he's definitely Ghanaian. And I was married to a Ghanaian who passed away. My kids obviously carry Ghanaian name. My last two names are both Ghanaian. So I'm like, oh, okay, we have a lot to talk about just from that. Tell me a little bit about your parents.
Good question. I'm trying to decide where to start.
Well, let's start with dad first.
Okay. So they both met in medical school.
Okay.
At Legon in Accra.
Okay.
In Accra.
Of course.
My dad's a psychiatrist. So there's a story there too, because even before we get into it, I told him growing up that I didn't want to be anything like him.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if your listeners
will see this. We're going to come back to
that. I was not that successful in that regard, but definitely someone who, God-fearing man.
Okay.
Also put his family first, but then also was one who took advantage of opportunities that were given to him. So he actually ended up in the States in God-directed ways, he would say. So he had been looking at different programs to do his next step of training in residency. He actually didn't plan to come to the US, but there were some things happening politically in West Africa where he was able to get on a plane at the last minute and walk into his interview, not having given them anything.
Oh, wow. This
was at Duke University.
It was definitely God-directed. Wow.
So much so that he said that when he went into the interview and when they actually offered him the position, he said, oh, this school must not be reputable. All that because I just...
Wow.
So perspective.
Yeah.
But I did have a sibling in the States at the time. So all that says I had a very great example in my father in terms of someone who really put time and effort into being excellent in his craft, but then also taking advantage of opportunities. I didn't follow that necessarily to get to this point, but we might come back to that.
We will. What age was he when he came to the States?
Oof, I've got to do a little bit of math.
Yeah.
I'm going to say late 20s.
Okay. And your mom came at the same time or
No,
separately?
My mom came a year later.
Okay.
So my mom was still finishing her medical school in Ghana. So he came here for his residency.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide how much of this to share.
We want it all. We want all of it.
I'll get to share
yes.
on the air, so to speak. But they actually got married in North Carolina.
Okay.
So they had a lot of benevolent folks in the church community that actually facilitated that because they were still in school, didn't have a lot of means at the time coming to the States. My mom went back to actually finish the rest of her degree in Accra.
Oh, really?
So there were a lot of people who invested in the family in lots of different ways. And even as money was tight, people who would give them money to actually see each other and things like that. Without going into too much detail, I did meet an individual at one point who said, has your dad told you about me? Said, I'm responsible for your life.
Really?
In his words.
Okay.
Because he created opportunities for my parents to still see each other when they were on separate continents.
So were you you were conceived though in the U.S.? Oh.
There's different aspects to this story.
Right, I got it.
I'll just say I was born in the U.S.
You were born in the U.S. I love it. I knew we were going somewhere with that. So shout out to African parents. You must usually be one of four things: doctor, lawyer, engineer. I forget what the fourth is, but I'm sure there's a fourth. We'll find it and put it up. Mm-hmm. And so you're born here in the States. Mm-hmm. Your parents are now both practicing, or? So
my mom also a hero or heroine in a lot of ways. So I have 3 younger siblings.
Okay. Oh, okay.
She did finish her medical school, came here, did a master's of public health. Okay. And then took 12 years off.
Really?
Between her master's degree and going back to do her residency.
Wow.
To raise the 4 of us.
That's
so
beautiful.
As a teenager, as a 13-year-old, I was seeing her go through that whole process. I still remember her getting her scores in the mail and getting all excited about passing the boards and things like that. Even as I'm doing my schoolwork, I remember her taking us to the library so she could do her work while we were studying, while my younger siblings were doing activities. So in a lot of ways, I don't know how they did it, but they both were excellent in their craft, and then also in really investing in us as a family as well.
So there was this understanding them at home that mom was kind of the primary caregiver at home. And she would, that's so interesting because with Dom and I, we both graduated. You know, I did really well. He did really well. We met at Accenture. And when we decided to get married and have children, we were both working. So I was working at NICE. He was working at a company called Savis at the time. And you know, it's interesting because a decision happens about who's going to make the trade-off, right? And his career was slightly ahead of mine at that point. He had more responsibility at his job, even though I was at NICE, which is a big name thing, but he was slightly ahead. And we decided, I guess as a family, that I would kind of wait. So he went and pursued his master's while I was in, you know, I got pregnant, had kids, and I wanted my master's too, but I had to wait. Same thing, right? And I remember, well, 2 things. One, it's a crazy story. We ended up getting a dog that we had to give back because 3 months later, because it was just crazy coming back from the city to walk the dog every day. But in addition to that, I remember much later having to then put my master's on hold and not do it. And I ended up not pursuing my master's until, I guess I was in my 40s. Yeah. After Don passed away. Actually, I started while he was sick.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And then he passed away, and that's when I got mine. So I'm sure my kids have the same testimony as you because I'm literally putting them on the bus. Yeah. Or they come home and they go to bed after dinner. I'm up all night writing my paper to submit to England time, 7 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And then putting them back on the bus and getting scores. So I can totally relate to your mom's story because I did mine much later in life for similar reasons because somebody had to do that. Yeah. So when you think of your mom during that time where she was caregiving for the family, what do you remember about her that seemed like it might be impact related?
So I mean, the word that comes to mind is sacrifice too. Because the other layer to the story is her mom, my maternal grandmother, was also the principal of her high school. Oh. And all of her sisters all have advanced degrees. So it's not as if education wasn't highly prioritized. It was just that she was taking the time to invest in us. Right. So I mean, I think about sacrifice. We also lived in Atlanta at the time and her driving us to different places, different activities. And I remember it just being a lot too, especially how spread out Atlanta is. Yeah. So sacrifice is definitely the word that comes to mind.
But do you remember her also doing things like helping people or things that just seemed Like, how does she even find time to do that in addition to all the stuff she's doing?
Yeah, I mean, she still sang in the choir.
Okay.
At church. She still also started all of us on piano. So not even just outside helping people, but helping us.
Oh, wow.
And even outside that, the funny joke that we have is that after, when she actually did do her residency, she went into pediatrics.
Really?
So after having the four of us, and that's not to say that we were easy to raise, but then went into a career where she was still investing in children.
My.
So in some ways, I can't think about what she was doing at that time to help others, but I could clearly see that happening when she shifted back into her work, and just all the folks in the community that know her and look up to her and all those types of things.
And she continued to practice that for how long?
A good 30 years, if I'm remembering correctly. She retired recently, so yeah.
That's fabulous. Yeah. We're gonna come back to Mom. So tell me about Dad. Like, what's your first memory of Dad?
I don't know if I'd say, well, actually, maybe not my first memory, but some of the really impactful ones.
Okay.
So I think back to him taking us out, helping us learn to ride bikes, those types of things. But I also remember him, I don't know if sacrifice is the right word, but even when we had moved up north and he was still doing, so he does psychiatry and sleep medicine. Okay. But I remember there was a specific day that he would take out of the week to come home early and we'd go ride our bike. So I always looked forward to that as a teenager. So not necessarily a first memory, but something that really
That's beautiful.
Stuck with me over the years, just having that time.
And were you comfortable at that point with the fact that he was doing stuff outside of the home to help people, and that impacted how much you saw him?
I think I was comfortable with that. I mean, there's another story there too, because I think I just felt like, well, that's what he does. And that's
right. It is what it is.
That is what it is. Yeah. And this is the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm thinking back, I don't know how much I reflected on that. I more so reflected on what I wanted to do or be perceived. Okay. And I would say there were some tensions there too, internally.
Why did you feel that? Like, where did that start?
So I'm actually not sure where it started. Okay. But I can tell you where it ended, because I've had people, it's funny, I've been on other podcasts where I think people started to analyze that for me in a sense. So one story I remember, 7th grade. Okay. I remember sitting up late at night with him outside the living room, sitting at our like small little desk, having him hovering over me, trying to force me to do my work, like my homework.
That sounds familiar.
And every time I say that, that's the response from parents. Yes. And I think he was trying to get me to realize that, you got to put your work in so you can actually do well on the quizzes and tests when they come up. That wasn't enough for me. And so what I told him at the time was, one, I didn't really feel like doing the work. Right. And I said, as long as I do better than one other person in the class.
Oh my gosh. I'm good. You just needed to be number 99, not 100.
Yeah, if somebody got a D and I got a C, I was like,
I'm good.
I'm not the worst in the class. So I don't know where that came from, but that was kind of so people have told me that maybe I had this penchant for trying to be excellent in a weird kind of way. Yeah. Because they're like, it takes, like you said, it takes effort to like position yourself from second to last. Like you can't just
I want to be number 99 of 100. I'm good with that.
So for whatever reason, that was my kind of mode with things. I will say when we moved up north, things did start to change because one, I had that mindset. I failed a project. Oh. And I was a new kid. So I didn't want to be the dumb black kid from the South. Right. Like that was my mindset. And so that caused me to kind of flip things. But then I think I always had this, I don't want to fit into your expectation. Right. Because people would say, oh, both of your parents are doctors. I know people like you. Right. Right. You don't know me.
It's interesting you said that, because on another podcast, I'd asked my son about that. And does that affect, if you have high achieving parents, does that affect your drive? Right. And are you so much trying to distinguish yourself sometimes that is at your own peril?
It seemed like it at times. I mean, because I went the complete
opposite direction. Wow. Just to differentiate to some degree.
I'm guessing. Yeah. To me, it felt, I mean, it sounds odd. It felt natural like that. Like just the way I was. But there had to be a reason.
Well, there was.
He's a psychiatrist, so maybe I should ask him.
Yeah. What did he say?
I haven't asked him that. He just kept saying. Never asked him that.
No?
Nope.
You really were like, I don't care. I'm doing my way. I love that.
But it did, at some point it flipped. So when I failed that project, I finally got things in line.
What project was it?
bug collection project. I don't even think they still have those. So basically you have to go out to like this swamp area and collect all these different bugs.
Okay.
And then do like all the taxonomy and labeling.
Right.
So they took us all out, like the whole 8th grade class to this swamp area. And we had to put like, I don't know if it was formaldehyde in the jar, and you get the insects and you collect them. So we couldn't get them all at the same time. So I had to get my mom to take me back to that area later.
Okay.
So I think I put that off till the last minute. The night before, I got a shoebox. I'm trying to pin the bugs. They're breaking in half. I'm trying to write things on a little piece of paper. Then I get to class the next day and people have these like glass encased. I'm like, okay,
they put a lot of work in.
Or their parents.
Right.
Helped them out. Needless to say, I waited till last minute. Mine was not up to, and that's the project.
Wow. What about that though? Did the teacher say something? Was it just fully internal? Was it a combination of both?
It's just the looks on people's faces when they saw my project, the fact that I got a failing grade on it. Because I was like, oh, there's no one. Right. There was no one who did worse. Oh, okay. Like that kind of threw off my whole.
Okay. That's wild.
My whole plan.
I love it.
So that was enough to get me to kind of flip my mentality and actually start to put in work. Okay. But by the time I got to high school, grades were much better. Okay. So at this point, I had aspirations to go to Duke. Probably because I was excited about the basketball team and all these other things.
Nothing to do with your dad.
That too. Okay. Even if I wouldn't admit that.
Right. I know it's hard to admit, but we'll just give him a little bit. Right.
But I remember for some reason I was talking to the superintendent about that at some point. He's like, oh, that's a really hard school to get into. Granted, my grades were fine by this point. Okay. So now the opposite was happening. Right. So I was like, oh, now you think I can't do it. So now I'm going to go the complete. So one, if you think I'm high achieving, I'm going to be way down here. Right. If you think I can't do it, then I'm going to go the other direction.
If your dad only had that piece of information, he probably could have used that at age 5, and it would have saved him a lot of consternation.
That's true. Yep.
That's wild. Okay, so
I've only realized this like in the last 5 years, to be honest.
Really?
As people have asked me about it. I mean, I knew I was like that, but I never really thought about why.
That's interesting. You know, I think my older son might be a little bit like that. No, I'm not kidding. Sorry, Diamond, but it's true.
And I've talked about this with college students who are coming to Yale for the summer and things like that. Right. And other West Africans will come up to me and be like, my brother was the same way.
Because I think too, there is as a child of West Africans, right? There is a lot of pressure to not just perform, but perform exceptionally, right? And you come from a lineage of degrees that you must not disappoint. And if you are uniquely gifted in your own way, you're not necessarily, I think it actually shows a different type of strength to say, I'm not fazed by all that. I'm walking my own journey. And if I get there, I'll get there. If I don't, I don't. And I may get somewhere even bigger. Who knows? But it's going to be my own journey. Because I don't know that the ability to feel like your own person only or primarily is something that is loved by West African parents. What would you say? Now that you're a parent too.
Yeah. So I'd say based on my experience, no. Yeah. But at the same time, things have changed so much. Yeah. So I don't know if I have the same answer as living in Accra. Yeah. Right now. Because even now, if I think back to times I was in Accra 20 years ago versus 3 years ago, it does feel like a shift.
So you think parents in Accra now will really be like, yeah, you can be,
no.
Yeah, okay.
Not completely.
Because I was going to say,
no. But maybe not as much as it was before.
Right. Yeah, nah. Yeah. Still got the four things.
Yeah. And even folks who are here in the States. So a good friend of mine from college, Nigerian brother, talked about the time one of his friends went and got their ear pierced. And then another Nigerian mom saw him in the grocery store and said, take that out, give it to me. That's not his mom.
Wow, I believe it.
So
I believe it. I believe it. You will get a beating from everybody and come home and get one too. I believe it completely. Oh my gosh, my son, both of them in America 2 years ago, hid their tattoos from me until I discovered it because they couldn't hide it anymore. Like it was summer, they had to wear shorts or a tank top. And I was like, what? Till today. Like my younger son just got his. He just turned 18 and was able to because he knew he wasn't getting one without me, with me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Anyway, let's come back. We digress.
Sorry.
So you now figure out, I got this thing. I can do amazing things grades wise. I want to go to Duke. What do you say you want to do when you go to Duke? Do you have any thought at that point about what that would be like? Do you discuss it with your parents?
I did discuss it with my parents.
Okay.
So they were very supportive in general.
Okay.
About wherever I wanted to go to school.
Right. What did they think you were gifted at?
I would say music. So my mom is also, she's someone who invests in people.
Okay.
And so she's always wanted to talk people up.
Okay.
So if you talk to my mom
right.
about any of us, you're going to know that we're superstars in whatever it is, because
right.
that's just the type of person
that's beautiful
that she is. She's an encourager. So, even when there are schools I applied to, if I didn't get in or didn't get a scholarship, she was frustrated.
Right.
Because she's like, oh, but don't they know?
Yeah.
So that all that encouragement
yes.
was there. They were also very gracious as well. So, I mean, it's they had both perspectives, because when they came to the States, they didn't have much.
Right.
When my dad came here last minute. He would, he'd ride his bike to work. He's giving me permission to share his story, but they used to argue about whether to spend extra money to buy ice cream.
Wow.
For me as a 1-year-old, 2-year-old.
I believe it. Yeah.
So that's just how things were at that point.
Yeah.
Granted, now, as they would say, God's been very faithful. And so they have means now, but that's not the way things always were.
Yeah.
So they have perspective on both sides. But even with that, they still encouraged me to pursue my dreams, where I want and what things I wanted to pursue. So this goes back because I got into the state school, had a full ride scholarship, and got into Duke initially with nothing. And I remember telling my dad about this, and he thought it was hilarious because I was actually frustrated.
Why didn't Duke give you money? They should have. So
eventually they did, but the fact that I was frustrated about that, and he still, granted, you have to have the level of privilege to be able to say, yes, you can go to the school, because not everybody can do that.
Agreed.
But that goes back to your question about they were there to support me.
Yeah. With
whatever I wanted to pursue at that point. And granted, I had finally kind of got my act together.
Yeah, they were happy.
So I felt that support.
So I chose Duke. And when you arrived there, did you now know what you wanted to do, or are you still figuring it out?
I was still figuring it out.
Okay. What looked interesting in the moment?
So science was still appealing, but I really didn't know what to do with that. And I think I felt that tug towards medicine. But again,
so wait, hold on. Before you go, we go from the kid who couldn't put the bugs together in the science project to science is now appealing. Where did that transition happen before we jump into Duke?
I think it was always there, and I didn't acknowledge it.
Okay.
Because going back to when I failed that project, we had like an internship thing, and I dabbled in engineering and things like that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really like what they did, but I still had kind of that, like, the science is interesting, the brain is interesting.
Okay. So it's just what you were studying scientifically may not have been as interesting.
And I got exposed to it early.
Right.
So my dad was doing sleep medicine.
Okay.
And when we lived in Atlanta, he would take me like to the research lab or the sleep lab.
Oh, wow.
And so I get to see all the machinery, the EEGs, get hooked up with all the electrodes. So even though I wasn't acknowledging it, I was still getting exposed to it. And the interest was still developing, even if I didn't want to admit it.
Yeah. I'm glad you are slowly admitting it now.
Oh my goodness. That slowly.
Yeah, slowly. It's
There's a story there too.
We'll give you space and time to slowly do it.
Yeah.
And you got to tell me that story. So you get there and you're like, okay, I know I'm kind of interested in science. What happens next? Do you start with something and stop and go to something else? Or?
So the science actually wasn't easy for me, especially college freshman, big classes. So I really had to put in work to kind of maintain. I remember even like an introductory psychology class that I took. Which usually isn't hard for folks, but I think just that quick transition from high school to college took me a minute to kind of settle in to the college routine, learn how to study different ways. And because by that point, and this happens, I think, with a lot of folks too, if you get to a certain level of high school, things can be easy and you can hit college and you're like, ooh, this is a totally different world.
Very true.
I mean, same things can happen on basketball court, sports field. You're playing with other high school students, you get to college, a different speed. And you're like, can I keep up? So I think I had to go through that a little bit too. But I also had good experiences and exposure because I applied to summer research programs.
Okay.
So that's when I had time to actually spend in a lab setting with other like-minded individuals, folks in the lab who were the lab I was working in had a Black neurosurgeon.
Really?
There aren't many of those.
No.
And just to see, so he would come in the lab once a week, but then he'd go be doing surgery. So to see some of those examples. Right. But at the same time, I was completely overwhelmed. Like I felt like I didn't understand what I was doing, but there were other grad students who kind of took me under their wing, kind of helped me along the way. Okay. And I just kept applying to those summer programs. So I kept getting more and more research experience. Okay. And I got connected to really good mentors who helped me along the path.
Let's talk a bit about mentors, because I think that's important for young people who are watching and saying, I want to do something in neuroscience, right? It seems so far away, as you just said. Yeah. It seems completely out of reach. Yeah. What specifically did some of those mentors do? And feel free to give them a shout out, because we have this Impact Enablers thing that you're going to list who they are for this episode. So feel free to, tell us. Like, can you remember one or two stories where they did something that kind of made you see like, oh yeah, this is reachable, it's attainable? So my abnormal psychology professor, this must have been junior year. I'm gonna have to look up his name because I'm blanking on the moment. But I think good mentors are willing to tell you things you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. Okay. So one thing that he did, so about 100 kids in the class. Right. This shows my age. I'm not calling them kids, but but he said, I want you all to take me out to lunch. He would pay for it. But the whole point was that he wanted to sit down one-on-one with every student in the class and get to know them. Wow. So I took him up on that. And then I asked him what I should major in. This is my psychology professor. Because I was trying to decide, should I major in biology or psychology? Okay. And he told me to major in biology. Really? And I was like, why? Am I not cut out for your degree? Like, right. What? So I actually felt offended. Oh, wow. But I think he saw my passion for biology more than I did. Right. So again, he was willing to tell me something that he knew I needed to hear, but I wasn't ready to hear. Right. So that stuck in my mind. And I actually did major in biology, like you suggested. Wow. But then just having other mentors along the way. So the summer research program I did, I'll give the year, 1998. It's all right. I'm older than you, I think, maybe. Just a little bit. It's okay. Dr. Ed Levin. So I still keep in touch with him to this day. I saw him within the last year. Okay. He hasn't quite retired yet, but someone who took me into his lab and gave me opportunities. So he sent me as a senior to a scientific conference. Okay. Where I could talk about the research we were doing in the lab. Okay. At that conference, there are grad students, there are people who've earned their PhDs, there are other professors, and I had to give a presentation. Oh, wow. This is back, depending on people's age, they may or may not remember this, overhead projectors. Oh, wow. Wow. With slides and all this. Right. So the ones you lay on. Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. So that was completely terrifying. Like getting up at a conference in a room full of professors. Wow. But he gave me that opportunity. Huh. And then other people came up to me afterwards and said, they tried to encourage me. Oh, you did a great job, all this and that. Right. And when I applied to grad schools, some of those people encouraged me to apply to the grad schools. Oh, wow. So again, just the people that invest in you early on and will mentor you, and not only just mentor you like on a day-to-day, but sponsor you and be like, I'm going to send you this thing. I'm going to give you this opportunity. Those things. You bring back a person who is fond to me from Rutgers. That it was weird because I met him through, I was studying management and political science. I did political science first. It was really easy. So I finished like 2 years. I'm like, I need something else. My parents are not going to be happy with me leaving this college in 2 years. I need another degree. So I do management. Okay. There was micro and macro that I needed to take. But because I entered that late, I had to take it in the summer. The only course offered in the summer was through the agricultural part of Rutgers College. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to do micro, macro, and whatever they do over there where the cows are. So I go and I meet this guy, Ned Lipman, who is phenomenal teaching this, right? And afterwards I go to him and I'm just like, hey, I just want to get to know you. Like, I'm really fascinated. Yeah. Because I didn't think I would be that interested in micro and macro. I just was kind of getting through it. Yeah. And summer was a quick way to do it. And he and I ended up forming this relationship. And every summer after that, he hired me into an internship program and pushed me down the route of entrepreneurship. which I didn't know. Like you said, at the time he saw in me, he probably saw the joy of me doing it and like fully immersing myself in it and getting it that I had no clue. I was just living in the moment, you know, as a young person.
Yeah.
But he saw that and he paid me $25 an hour, which back then was a lot per hour in the summer as a college student. Yeah. I was like, sure. Goodness. Yeah. But I remember that experience and how his mentorship, you know, I don't even know that I talked to him much since I left, but that was pivotal for me. Yeah. And now I got to find him. Yep. On a side note. But yeah, it was just amazing to have that happen. So you get there, you go through now, you're about to graduate. What do mom and dad say about the next step? Are they like, yes, let's do master's program? Are they like, well, maybe you should consider work experience? What are they saying? So
they let me kind of direct that too. But I mean, if I'm honest, I was really confused about which direction to go. Okay. So I was trying to decide, do I want to go the MD route? Do I want to go the PhD route? Or do I want to do the MD PhD? Oh my. So again, this is where the mentorship came in. So that same professor I talked about, Dr. Levin, he actually let me stay in his lab for 2 years as a research technician. And so I got more work experience and he kept sending me to conferences. So I had the time to kind of get my feet wet. Even though I'd already done some research. Also, some of the other folks on campus, Dean Singer was another one who really invested in students. So I would actually sit down and meet with her. She would help a lot of students who were doing MD, PhD. So she had just very honest conversations with me. Like, you'd be competitive for this program. This one would be a little bit of a stretch. Maybe you want to think about this, and really just gave me that time to kind of think through those things. So then my parents tried hard not to push me one direction or another. Oh, they figured it out, I think, by now. They were like, okay. If we do that. Yeah, you know. So they knew I was trying to figure out what that next step was. And I just tried to have experience. I had some summer experiences too, working in healthcare clinics. So I had that as well. And over time, I realized the research was pulling me more than the clinical, even though that's flipped over the years in some ways too. But they really just gave me that space and time to figure it out in a way. Do you realize at this point that your siblings are looking up to you yet? Yes and no. So my younger sister, 2 years younger, we actually went to school together. Okay. So we were on campus. This is funny. We actually took a class together. Oh, wow. Too. We never talked about our grades. And some folks were like, they didn't even realize we were related. Really? Which I don't understand because we're similar. They thought we were just hanging out. Oh, okay. But I say that because maybe my sister's a little bit like me. She wanted to create her own path. Too. So I don't know if she was looking up to me or not, but there was still some of that. We had some mutual friends and all this and that. I definitely knew my younger brothers were looking up to me. Yeah. They also thought it was weird when we took a class together because they thought she was catching up to me or something. Yeah. Well, she was also trying to figure her way. And I mean, her just taking a class with you says a lot without saying anything, honestly. Yeah. Because you were still ahead, right? So her saying, yeah, I'm going to take the class my brother's taking. It's a lot. In ways I didn't know. In the moment. Yeah. All right, so you're doing the research. Is there something in your research assistantship period that then sparks something for you? I think I realized how much I didn't know, which I guess might be a weird way to go about. But every time I went to a conference, all the stuff was interesting. I was like, I really don't know this stuff well at all, which motivated me to actually want to go back to school and actually understand what I was doing. And Dr. Levin, I mean, to his credit, he kept pushing me to do that too. He's like, you don't want to stay out of school too long because you'll never go back. Right. That is true. Yep. Very true statement. Yeah, it was hard for me going back in my 40s. Whew. Struggle life. But you did it. Yeah. But I think if I had stayed and gone straight through, I would have had a PhD. I think is what he's saying. Right. Yep. But now I'm just like, my cousin, bless her heart, is doing it right now. We're the same age. I'm like, go girl, I support you. That's impressive. But yeah. I don't know that I have that in me at this point. Wow. Okay. I felt fortunate because that gap time, I think, helped me because I knew what I was getting into. So do you think students should take gap years? This is going to sound like I'm not answering, but it depends. It all depends on the situation. Right. And I think that as a student, you have to know yourself. You have to know if you need to keep that momentum. Right. then you need to just keep going. Others, you know, like if you don't slow down, you're just going to burn out. You might need to take a step and pause.
Yeah.
Other people sometimes just doing it because they can't figure out what else to do, which is not the best reason to do it. So like each situation is so different. But I will say it's better to be open to taking time off, because I've seen too many situations where people feel like they can't take that time off and they have to keep going. But the reasons for keeping going are not good. Then you get to a point where you burn out, or like, I don't really want to do this. And then you're like, well, why? You could have figured that out if you actually just slowed down.
Yeah, for a second. No, you're absolutely
That's my
right.
professor hat coming on.
As an African mother, right? My oldest son gets into college, gets into all these great schools. Finally, I take him off to school. And I'm like, proud, right? Yes. His father died. I'm the mother. We've got the first child, a boy, into college. This is going in the right direction. And after first semester, something crazy happens at the school. He's like, I'm done. And I'm like, what? Oh, no, you're going to get a college degree. And they're giving him a great scholarship. Like, we're paying 15% of the tuition. I'm like, what? Yeah, no. And I had to wrestle with myself because he was like, Mom, I can go back and I can complete it. But the point he made to me that was amazing was, I just don't know if you or me will like the version of myself that will be the person completing it.
Wow.
And my oldest son is a man of few words. So when he said that, I was like, ooh, yeah, that hit. That hit different, right? And I was like, okay, well, I don't want that for you, right? Or for me. And so it was really hard, because as an African parent, you're just like, just figure it out. Like, things are hard. Life is difficult. Keep going. You'll be fine. And so I had to say, okay, I'm going to have to step back and support him through this. But I did have rules. I was like, you can't stay at the house. You're going to have to, I had him go to another friend of mine who I went to Oxford with and stay with him for that semester and do like an internship.
Yeah.
But he needed that to figure out his next move.
Yeah.
And when he went and chose his next move himself, he was even more committed to it. And we never had to have that conversation again.
That's a lot of maturity on his part.
Yeah. I was like, that hit me.
To actually say that,
Square between the eyes. I was like, oh, what do you say to that?
Yeah. But that also says a lot about you too, that you were actually willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
To rethink your framework.
It was me evolving, though. I gotta say, I wasn't always that way. If you ask them, they'll tell you. It was the evolved version of me as a mom, to be honest.
Yeah. That's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
We have our expectations.
So, yes. And now I'm in it again, as we were talking about earlier with the second child.
Yeah.
But at least I have some experience now.
Yeah.
So you decide that you're going to go and pursue it's a PhD at this point. What did you decide to concentrate in and why?
Yeah, so I decided to pursue a PhD in neuroscience. So when I did my undergraduate degree, it was a biology major with a neuroscience concentration.
Right.
So the brain was still very intriguing to me. And part of that, again, was the experience I had. I mean, saw my dad doing all his stuff.
Yeah.
I joined neuroscience labs.
Got it.
Dr. Levin was introducing me to different projects.
Okay.
Like a lot of that work was actually in rats.
Right.
But we were trying to figure out what effects nicotine has and how that can be tied to things like schizophrenia.
Interesting.
So people who live with schizophrenia, if the stats are still the same way they were back then, which it don't seem to have changed too much, about 80 to 90% of those people smoke cigarettes.
Really?
And so there are all these different hypotheses about why that is. And
is it at an early age they start, or does it matter the time they start?
Yeah, schizophrenia is usually diagnosed around like teen to late 20s. So I don't know where the smoking starts, but usually the smoking in general starts around that time too. Right. So people have different ideas about why that is. One idea was it was a self-medication thing. So
I could see that.
People who have schizophrenia, a lot of them are also taking antipsychotics.
Right.
Some of those have side effects that can kind of decrease your attention and things like that. But some of that might also be tied to the disease itself too.
Gotcha.
So what he was actually doing in the lab was looking at how nicotine and antipsychotics would actually impact the rat's memory on a maze.
Oh, wow.
So it's just very intriguing.
Yeah.
It's a rodent study, but it has direct application.
Yeah. Did you like puzzles growing up?
I did.
I figured. Based on what you just said. I did too.
Yeah.
I love puzzles.
So those types of questions I just found super intriguing. I was like, how is that actually happening?
Right. Interesting. So did you decide that you wanted to continue that work, or was there something else that fascinated you?
So I decided I wanted to continue just looking into neuroscience in general. Because when Dr. Levin sent me to these conferences, there was just so much that I didn't understand.
Right.
Granted, the conference I went to is called the Society for Neuroscience Conference.
Okay.
It's going to probably sound scary to a non-neuroscientist, but you basically have 30,000 neuroscientists in one place at one time.
Wow.
I guess that could be good or bad depending on your
Yes. That's God knows what y'all talking about. Like most of us would be like, okay, we're bye. We're going now.
So that was a good experience, but it's also really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, so every time a student goes to that for the first time, it's always overwhelming. There's no way to kind of prep people.
Yeah.
But you also see all the things that are happening in the field. So to be exposed to that, I think just gave me a hunger for actually being able to want to understand those things better. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to study, but addiction was still something.
Okay. So fast forward, you start studying. Yep. Does it become clearer what your concentration is going to be?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Clear in the sense that when you join a lab as a PhD student, you have a project that you're focused on.
Okay.
So I was looking at nicotine and the effects that it has in the brain.
Okay. So you were still looking at that. Okay.
More from like a biochemistry standpoint. Okay. So whether it's changing how different proteins are acting in the brain, those types of things.
Okay. And what were you trying to disprove at that point?
So that point was really trying to see, in this case, if an animal is exposed to nicotine long-term, how is that changing the brain? How can you kind of change it back?
Okay.
Which has implications if people are taking substances for long periods of time and then have withdrawal or then abstinence, and how would you actually help them through that recovery period?
Okay. And then you're doing this, but you don't get to really study it in people until later. How does that transition happen when you go from the rats to people?
Yeah. So it really depends. So I'll fast forward a few years because I also do this kind of work in my own lab now.
Okay.
We're also looking at how flavors impact nicotine use with all the vapes.
Oh God, that's a whole such a thing.
Yeah. And then also looking at things like cocaine use as well. So again, animals in cocaine abstinence and trying to figure out how to kind of decrease their relapse profile.
Okay.
But also, just like people in that period of abstinence, there's also heightened anxiety and heightened mood related types of behaviors. So I've always said like my main goal as a scientist is be able to do the studies in the rodents that will then inform the work that's done in the clinic.
Okay.
So we've actually been able to be involved in some of the work that's being designed for clinical studies too. So we found some certain processes in the brain that can kind of decrease the relapse profile.
Okay.
Also have antidepressant effects, also decrease anxiety. And then now starting to think about people who have substance use challenges and mood disorder challenges and trying to think about new therapies.
Okay.
So everybody's a little bit different. Some people do work in the clinic. Some people do more of the basic science work with rodents.
Right.
Some people are actually treating people in the clinic, but it's all an enterprise that works together. So I'm really fortunate at Yale that we have like all these cross-talk conversations that happen. I know I just jumped forward about 20 years.
Yeah, you did. We got to come back a little bit. So you get to the point where you're still informing that and you're doing the research that's informing clinics, right? Do you then also get to go to clinics and work with people as well and see the results of it? Is that a part of your study to get your doctorate? What is your thesis that you present on to get your doctorate?
Yeah. So this is funny because I was going to actually say the title of my thesis, but I can't remember it because there's so many. But I was looking, there's a specific, it's called a protein phosphatase, which means it takes a phosphate group of proteins. There's one particular one I was looking at and looking at how nicotine impacted that specific protein phosphatase that impacted how the animals behaved when they got exposed to nicotine. Okay. So really still kind of what people would call basic science to understand what effects are these drugs having in the brain. Yeah. So basically, over a period of 5 years, I had to kind of make progress on that study, publish papers, go to conferences, write a long dissertation, and then defend that in front of a committee of other professors. So not light work, but definitely worthwhile work. And one of the pieces I always tell students now, the point of the PhD is not how much you can produce. Right. It's really to teach you how to critically think along the way. Can you design a scientific experiment to actually address the question you want to address? And then find the answer, regardless of whether it's what you expected or not. So that's really the piece. And a lot of people told me that when I finished too, like, oh, you have a PhD, that means that you have a certain level of critical thinking and how you assess things, how you look at the world.
Right.
But when you're in the middle of it, all you think is, well, this student produced this much work and this student produced that much work. So it's almost like you have to retrain your brain and reframe what your actual goals are, because it's too hard to just try and compete with everybody around you.
So did you figure out things that would smooth out? Because I think what I'm hearing you say is, if you decide you're addicted to something, you learned what causes that. But if you decide that you're addicted and you want to stop, there's this very nerve-wracking period of withdrawal. And it sounds like during that period, you're trying to figure out how you can, within the body, kind of smooth that out.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So I learned a little something from him. So,
and because there's so many things that can cause that to happen, whether it's stress. I mean, you know, and it can happen over a period of years, like someone has quit.
Right.
You lose your job.
Right.
That's stress. Then you go back to using it again.
Yeah.
Or you have a really difficult relationship. You go back to using it again. Or all these or you have the like you just can't focus as much when you're not smoking. So you go back. And so all these different things. So that's exactly, we're trying to figure out what's happening in the brain that allows that stress to kind of push people over the edge. Yeah. Or has people feeling anxious. Yeah. And can we come up with some like therapeutic target with a medication that could potentially decrease that? But that's not the only thing. I mean, you study the biology, but you can also tie that in with therapy.
No, I think that's critical.
Or you can tie it with community. You can tie it with spiritual practice. Yeah. So even as a scientist, I always say that's not the only way.
Oh, we're coming to that.
To look at things.
We're coming to the spirituality part. So that's interesting because we were just having this conversation outside of here about perimenopause. And I feel like that could be applicable because your body is physically going through this stress that I finally am like, yo, like I'm going through physical stress without even intending to inflict it on myself. Yeah. Well. And whatever that is could probably help perimenopausal and menopausal women as well. Yeah. Because I imagine some of the same things could be happening in the brain. I don't know. Yeah. But
I mean, to your point, like this is an area that there just needs to be more research. Yeah. I mean, so there are people who are doing that research, but at the same time, there's definitely more that needs to be done. Like how do all these things interact? Yeah. Does dad or mom at this point, you graduate, they got a PhD, a doctor in the house, a third doctor in the house who didn't want to be a doctor in the house, right? And so what do they say at graduation? What does mom say? What does dad say? I mean, at that point, it's just, I don't want to say it's expected because that sounds odd. But
because you've been going down this journey for a while, Yeah,
because I've been on a journey for a while. It's kind of so there's still definitely congratulations for me. I definitely had a lot of pride. Right. But it's also the kind of the next step in the journey as well. Now at this point, we'll even fast forward. So my younger siblings also got doctorates in different things, so engineering.
No, you don't say.
So, and then my wife also has a doctorate in science education. So at this point, I'm already married. I have a 2-year-old. Right. And the joke is, I remember when my youngest brother got married, someone thought it'd be hilarious at the wedding as we're all walking around to be like, Dr. Addy.
Oh, wow. Everybody turns around. That's wild. That is wild.
So I don't want to say it was expected, but it was, as I'm thinking back, I can't actually pinpoint an exact moment where I was like, I mean, we definitely celebrated. Yeah. But it just seemed like at that point, I was just kind of walking it out.
Right. So do you at this point sit or maybe come across the stage, walk to your dad and be like,
So the bad thing about it is I didn't even walk for my PhD doctorate.
What do you mean? Say more. Thanks for listening to The Cost of Impact. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who's building something meaningful in their own way. Until next time, keep building what matters. Welcome to the control room.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Great to be in person.
Looking forward to jumping into the conversation. I will admit, I'm used to being on the other side of the microphone, so I kind of have to get my mind in the right mindset. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. For me, the passions are neuroscience, mental health, and faith, and integrating all those. So really hope that this will be a journey of conversation definitely tune in.